3 days before the year's most amorous evening, my fiancée, Claire, sent a text that rattled my world. It was a brisk Monday afternoon, and I'd just left a drawn-out work meeting when her message flashed across my phone. "Can we talk tonight? There's something serious we need to discuss." My thoughts immediately darted to our wedding preparations. Perhaps the guest list or her gown's final adjustments. We'd been engaged for 8 months, together for 3 years, with our October ceremony carefully orchestrated. Venue reserved, menu set, invitations sent. Everything was on track. When I entered our apartment, Claire sat stiffly on the couch, hands clasped tightly, her face somber. "Elliot," she started, her tone measured but laden with weight. "I've been thinking deeply, and I'm uncertain about our path forward. I think we might need a break." I stood still, my coat slung over my arm. "A break?" I repeated. "Just a temporary step back," she said swiftly. "To gain clarity, to ensure I'm ready. It's not necessarily over." My phone buzzed in my pocket, but I ignored it, draping the coat over a chair. "How long do you need?" I asked. "I'm not certain," she replied, her gaze wavering. "A few weeks, maybe?" The timing hit me hard. 3 days before the Valentine's dinner we'd planned since December, at a restaurant where bookings were secured months in advance. "Are you sure about this?" I asked. She pressed her lips together and nodded. "I think it's best for us to take a moment." I gave a single nod, holding my composure. No pleading, no arguments. "If you need distance, Claire, I'll respect that." She blinked, visibly surprised by my steady response. "That's all? You won't try to change my mind?" "You asked for space," I said calmly. "I'm honoring your request." That night, she packed a small suitcase, saying she'd stay with her coworker Rachel. She called my reaction grown-up, but her eyes showed confusion as she wheeled her bag out. As her car's taillights disappeared into the night, I sat at the kitchen table, planning my next moves. As Claire drove away, I decided how to handle her call for a pause. She wanted a break, but I wouldn't offer the half-hearted version she might have anticipated, where I'd wait in uncertainty for her to sort her feelings. That evening, I moved into the guest room, disabled location sharing, removed her access to my calendar, and locked the wedding planning apps we shared. If she wanted separation, I'd give it fully. The next morning, I accessed the restaurant's reservation system. 2 seats at the city's most exclusive dining spot for Valentine's night at 7 p.m. Instead of canceling, I changed the guest name. I called my Aunt Lillian, who raised me after my mother's passing and hadn't had a proper night out in years. "Lillian," I said, "are you free Thursday evening?" "Likely reheating leftovers," she laughed. "What's up?" "You're coming with me to a special dinner." "Elliot, isn't that for Claire?" she asked. "Plans changed," I said simply. "I don't want the reservation to go unused." After a pause, her voice warmed. "I'd love to." That afternoon, I composed a brief email to Claire. "Since you've asked for a break, we'll keep communication to essentials only. Please use email. I'll handle social events alone until further notice. Please respect my boundaries as I respect yours." I read it over twice, then sent it. Her reply came quickly. "I thought we were just taking a breather, not cutting ties completely." I didn't respond. By evening, another message arrived. "Are you mad at me?" I stayed quiet. Silence was more powerful than words. If she wanted a break, she'd feel its full impact, not a version where she explored freedom while I waited nervously. By Wednesday, the silence was wearing on her, not me. I slept well, but Claire was struggling. Her coworker Rachel called during my lunch break. I let it ring twice before picking up. "Elliot, it's Rachel. What's going on with you and Claire?" "She asked for space," I said. "I'm giving it to her." "She's concerned," Rachel said. "She says you're being aloof, distant. Maybe show her you care, fight for her a little." I leaned back in my chair. "Rachel, she asked for a break 3 days before Valentine's Day. If she's unsure about our engagement, pursuing her won't resolve that." Rachel sighed. "She didn't expect you to shut her out entirely. She thought you'd make more effort." "I'm not going to beg," I said firmly. The line fell silent. Finally, Rachel said, "I'll let her know you're fine," and ended the call. 20 minutes later, Claire emailed. We should set guidelines for this break. No dating others. No posting anything humiliating online. No making it look like we're finished. I read it twice, then closed my laptop without replying. That evening, another message came. Where are the details for the restaurant reservation? I could go with Rachel since you don't seem to want it. I responded with one sentence. The reservation is handled. 5 minutes later, her text arrived. Who are you bringing? I didn't answer. An hour later, another. I don't get why you're acting like this. It was just a pause, not a breakup. I remained silent. My quietness was unsettling her. She wanted to steer the story, keep me on edge. Instead, I took that control away. By bedtime, I had 14 unanswered messages from her. Each one more frantic than the last. She'd made her choice, and I was making sure she felt its repercussions. Valentine's Day came. I picked up Aunt Lillian at 6 p.m. sharp. When she saw me in a suit, she beamed. Elliot, you look like you're headed to a red carpet. You're the one who deserves the spotlight, I replied. Tonight's all about you. The restaurant buzzed with energy when we arrived. The host recognized my name and led us to a prime table by the window. Lillian's eyes gleamed as she absorbed the atmosphere. This place is breathtaking, she murmured. I let her share tales of her teaching days, her late husband, and the sacrifices she made raising me after my mother's death. For once, she was the center of attention. Halfway through dessert, I pulled out my phone. Let's take a picture. She laughed, saying she never looked good in photos, but I took one anyway. She glowed. I posted it online with a short caption. Memorable night with my favorite person. Love you, Aunt Lillian. Within minutes, likes and comments poured in. Friends and colleagues found it touching that I'd chosen family over romance. By the time I dropped Lillian off, my phone was buzzing constantly. Texts, calls, notifications. I set it face down on the counter when I got home. At 10:20 p.m., curiosity won. Claire had seen the post. Her first text read, Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you had a great night. Then, wait, you took your aunt to our reservation? Then a flood. Are you kidding? This is childish, Elliot. People will think we're done. Delete that post. My brother asked if the wedding's off. Call me please. We need to talk. By 2 a.m., she'd sent 31 messages, angry, defensive, remorseful, pleading. I screenshot each one, silenced my phone and slept soundly. At 7 a.m., a loud knock startled me awake. I took a slow sip of coffee before opening the door. Claire stood there, eyes red, hair messy, looking sleepless. She brushed past me. We need to talk, she said. About what? I asked, shutting the door. About last night. About everything. I leaned against the counter. Go ahead. She paced, twisting her hands. You made it seem like we're over. My mom called me in tears. People think the wedding's canceled. Did you tell her you're unsure about marrying me? I asked calmly. That's not the issue. It's exactly the issue. She stopped pacing, her voice cracking. I messed up, Elliot. I was overwhelmed and said something stupid. I don't want to break. I studied her. One question. Is there someone else? Her eyes darted away briefly. No, of course not. I opened my phone, pulled up the rideshare app, and showed her the screen. 3 late-night trips to Mark Thompson's loft in the past 2 weeks, from our shared account. Care to explain? Her face went pale. Mark's just a friend. He needed someone to talk to. It's not what you think. I swiped to an email from a florist, showing a bouquet sent to Mark's address, paid from our joint account, with a note. For you. Hope it brightens your day. See. Does this sound familiar? She froze, then whispered. It didn't mean anything. I set the phone down. Here's the plan. Stay at Rachel's. If you need anything from here, let me know in advance. That's it. Tears filled her eyes. You're just giving up on us? You asked for time to think, I said, opening the door. Now you have it. She paused, then left without another word. By the weekend, Claire was in damage control mode, telling friends we'd had a small misunderstanding. Rachel posted vague quotes about growth and love in tough times. But my Valentine's post stayed up, and people formed their own opinions. Saturday morning, my friend Tom called, asking if Claire and I were really on a break. He mentioned seeing her with Mark at a cafe on 10th Street weeks earlier, their behavior suggesting more than a professional meeting. I thanked him and hung up. The rideshare logs and florist receipt had already pointed to the truth, but Tom's story confirmed it. That afternoon, I emailed the wedding venue to cancel, accepting the steep fees without hesitation. On Sunday, I found roses and a note outside my door. Elliot, I'm so sorry. I was confused. We can fix this. I threw the flowers and note down the trash chute. The more Claire tried to downplay her actions, the more others saw the reality. For the first time, I wasn't protecting her. By Monday, the evidence was undeniable in our shared accounts. Rideshare logs showed 4 trips to Mark's building since New Year's Eve, all late at night when Claire said she was working. Cafe receipts, drinks billed to Mark's address on mornings she had early meetings. No rumors, just facts. Friends later said Mark pulled back after Valentine's Day, telling others Claire was uncertain about her engagement, and he wanted no part of the drama. He'd been a brief distraction, not a commitment. That clarified everything. Mark wasn't the problem. He was evidence Claire had crossed a line. That afternoon, I signed the wedding cancellation forms. The venue's cost was high, but it felt like the best investment I'd ever made. Claire sent a long message that night. I was scared. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I want to come home. I replied. You wanted time. You've got it. Then I blocked her number. I slept peacefully, no buzzing phone, no doubts. In the morning, I boxed up her remaining things and stored them in the closet. Out of sight, out of mind. The truth was clear. Claire wanted options and Mark was one. She didn't expect me to take her break seriously, assuming I'd wait while she wavered. Instead, I made the decision she couldn't. 2 weeks later, she emailed, asking to meet at the park near Whitfield Hospital. She arrived late, wrapped in a coat, clutching a bag, her face crumpling when she saw me. Elliot, I'm sorry. I lost my way. It was stress, the pressure. I didn't mean it. I stood firm. You asked for a break. I gave it to you. It wasn't supposed to end us, she pleaded. I just needed space. I love you. Love doesn't involve midnight trips to Mark's, I said calmly. Her eyes welled up. That was a mistake. No, I replied. It was an answer. She stepped closer. We can fix this. I'll cut him off. The wedding can go on. It's already canceled, I said. Venue, caterer, deposits, all done. She gasped. You really don't want to try? You wanted time to think, I said. Now you have it. She stood there, waiting for me to soften. When I didn't, she rushed to her car and drove off. I stayed in the park, then met Aunt Lillian for dinner at a cozy diner. Over pie and coffee, she said. You seem lighter, Elliot, like you've shed a heavy burden. I nodded. I have. And that was the truth. Claire's pause began the story, but I wrote its ending.